in. You know, the consequences for the people that are really principally responsible for this is not commensurate with the crime. Okay, it's that simple. So you and I both know, Lucy, that if we Xeroxed our car title and Xeroxed it 10 times and sold it to 10 different people, but only had one car, we'd be in jail in 2 weeks. Okay. The problem is this is done at such a high level. It involves trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. It's done by machines now. It's done by high-speed trading platforms. It's done by overseas transactions. It's so complex that in order to really understand it, you have to spend 20 years in the ditch like we have to really understand it and be able to track it down and know how to find it. Because Rob Shapiro said, and again, for the listeners, Rob Shapiro runs a company called Sonocon. He wrote a paper, this is about 10 years ago, but he said it's even worse today in his opinion, that said 500 million to 1 billion shares per day are sold but not delivered on all exchanges. Now that goes down to something, maybe a third of that by the time you go out to T plus 30 or T plus 60. But even still, the numbers are astronomical that are being sold but not delivered. He said it's not just the cash. It is the fact of the jobs that have been destroyed, the families that have been destroyed, the technology that's been destroyed, and the lack of confidence in our marketplace that is the tragedy here. This isn't just money. This is impacting in a very negative way people's lives. It is impacting us in a negative way about advancing technology, whether it's cures for brain cancer or some different kind of word processor or whatever. Inventors no longer are safe in taking these companies public, because it's easier to kill them, Lucy, than it is to build them up, because I can simply manufacture shares, sell it, and ultimately exceed demand. And I promise you I'm going to make money on my shorts. Well, Quinn said it's rigging the market. You're better off, when we got interviewed by Dateline, you're better off to be dealing off the bottom of the deck, have them deal off the bottom of the deck in Las Vegas than you are to do this.
So let's Overstock. So, and you had 2 cases here. The first, interesting, collusion between crooked stock analysts and hedge funds, and the second was creating counterfeit shares. So the first case was in 2005, and maybe you can tell about that, how involving Gradient Analytics and David Walker, Mark Cahodes.
Yes. So all of this is in the complaint. Obviously, what's in the documents I can't talk about because there's a protective order, but I can give you the summary. So let's start with some basic understandings of how you further rig the market, as if selling shares that you don't have isn't bad enough. What the perpetrators do is they start an SEC investigation on you, which typically is fake. They did that in Overstock at the same time, or actually right around the same time we filed the first case. Number 2, they go to analysts, in this case Gradient Analytics, and start printing smack about you, and I'll get into those details in a minute. Number 3, they file a class action lawsuit against you, which in fact did happen, alleging bad behavior. Number 4, they sell shares that don't exist. And then number 5, they pay bashers either in the media or on the boards, on the bulletin boards or whatever, the talking boards, to talk smack about you. So that's kind of the perfect storm, which is Patrick Byrne, my dear friend and a fellow warrior and patriot of this country, I might add, said it best when he said, I got a call one day and somebody said this was going to be happening to us and to look for these 5 things. And sure as hell, you know, a month later, those 5 things occurred. So in that case, what happened is it was unique. We got a break because a person became kind of religious and said, hey, I can't live with myself. Let me tell you what's going on at Gradient Analytics, which was another name for the company was Camelback Research. This was a firm that purportedly was charging creme de la creme hedge fund clients large sums of money, like $25,000 a year, to get a copy of their independent, comprehensive recommendations on what to buy and what not to buy, their report, their analysis of public companies. But unbeknownst to their customers, David Rocker, along with Mark Cahotis, were in the process of editing secretly the report, in particular with regard to Overstock. A large sum of money was paid to the analytics firm to allow them to do that. And oh, incidentally, once I give you that report, please hold the report for 3 days while we take our short position and then mail it out. And the mission being to mail out the report. This is my version. We didn't prove this in the case. Mail out the report. You read the report. Oh my God! Overstock gets an F for 3 months in a row. Charlie, short that stock because it's worthless. Look at this report. Well, in fact, that is what happened. And so ultimately, we sued Rocker Partners, which was a hedge fund, I think $1 billion or $2 billion hedge fund, run by a gentleman named David Rocker. We sued David Rocker. We sued Mark Cahotis, who purported to be a chicken farmer, but no disrespect to Mr. Cahotis, but that's the farthest from the truth in my view. And we sued a couple others, I think. That case was over in across the Golden Gate Bridge in whatever county that's in. That was in state court, and ultimately it's settled. I think some of that's public, maybe 10 or 15 million of it's settled, some of it's confidential. So I can't really tell you about that. So,
yeah, I saw the figure 5 million.
How much?
5. I saw 5.
Well, maybe what's out there, whatever's out there in the public is public, and the rest of it's private. But I can tell you, we were happy with the settlement. The rest of it.
Did financial